Welcome to the Mother Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Angelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Happy April the 10th. We're moving right along with our monthly series for April, and it's just warnings for women. Have any of these warnings made sense to you, girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I watch movies in a weird way, but this one right here came from the same girl that the other one we did came from, The Bad Vegan. It came from Heather McDonald. She used to be on Chelsea Lately back in the day. I didn't even used to go to sleep at nighttime without watching that show at 10 o'clock. It was like that and David Letterman, those were my two nighttime shows that I could just like leave the TV on, watch them. It'd be so funny. I like to go to sleep with funny stuff. And so Heather McDonald has a podcast, and her podcast is called Juicy Scoop. And she talks about all the things that are kind of happening, but, you know, the juicy part of it. She talks a lot about the housewives. So when she's talking about the housewives, I'd be so completely lost. I don't know who half of them are or what they're doing. I just, you know, her commentary is really, really good. So that show, I can tell you right now, any movie that she says is a good movie, we have the same taste in movies. Every time I go and watch it, I love them. Yeah. I mean, she has mentioned so much. She's got a couple of things right now that she just talked about. And you know what is so funny? She liked the Pam and Tommy, but not that much. So that told me right there that I probably wasn't going to like it too much either. So I haven't watched it yet. But the show that we're going to talk about today, Angie, did you get to see all of Inventing Anna?
Yeah, I binge watched it.
Did I tell you about it, or did you tell me about it?
I think you told me about it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if this was one of the ones that you already was into. All right, let's get started with Anna. And, you know, Anna has a very popping Instagram page. I think when I went over to her page a month ago, she didn't have 1 million people following her. But you're saying as of today, she's now got 1 million followers?
Yeah. And
wow. You know, there's been a lot going on. They said that she was going to do a documentary for Hulu. Then they said that she was getting ready to be deported. And then we found out that she was really, really good friends with the young lady that Kanye was talking to. I forgot her name.
Julia Fox.
Yeah, what's her name? Julia Fox. Yeah, because you saw that movie she was in called Uncut Gems, and you liked it, huh?
I did. I just didn't like the ending. I like anything Adam Sandler's in.
Yeah, that movie right there, 15 minutes in, I knew I didn't like it, so I didn't finish it. I just watched 15 minutes, and I didn't like the whole scene of everything. I didn't like the way Adam Sandler looked on there. I didn't like anything about it. But anyway, they said that it was a really good acting debut for her, so I'll just take everybody's word for it. But when I first heard about Inventing Anna, again, I heard it from Heather McDonald on Juicy Scoop. When I first heard about Inventing Anna, I had no clue what they meant by. I even told somebody else about Inventing, and they said that they thought I was talking about a robot. Like somebody was trying to invent.
No, that's what I thought too. It's because of how the picture looks.
Yeah.
Something about it looks fake. And I was like, are they trying to invent like a robot? I literally thought that's what it was. And that's why I didn't watch it until you said you was watching it.
And you're not the only one who said that. You're not the only one who said that. And I was like, I hadn't even, my mind hadn't even gone that way. So I hadn't even thought about it. And I think I got lucky because listening to somebody else explain what it was about, I think that helped me. So I kind of had 5% of knowledge going in that, oh, there's this socialite girl who pretended to be. The other thing that helped me is I had already heard about this story years ago on American Greed. Didn't know what her name was, didn't know who she was. I just had heard the story about what she did. And on American Greed, you know, they break the whole thing down, but they break it down in a different way than what the the documentary or docuseries broke it down. So having both the knowledge from American Greed and from this is kind of like, oh, so this is, we can put a face to a name, and this is an actual person who did this. And what's like the number one, because there's like one thing in this whole show that was just, for me, it was too unreal and unbelievable to realize that she got away with it.
I think it's the hotel room balance that she owed. I think it was the fact that she was like, it was more than like 30,000, but at one hotel she was like 30,000 in debt and didn't pay them $1, but still was able to sleep in there. I'm like, that alone would give me anxiety. Like, but some people, I guess, I ain't gonna say she's a scammer, but when people ain't living right, they don't think that way. They don't take consideration.
To me, that wasn't a problem. You know why? Because remember, she had her hotel bill on the investor's name, the one who had the 2 sons. She had money under that, so they probably thought she was like his mistress or something like that. He's just paying for his side pieces. So that didn't shock me. I believe what shocked me is that she was able to acquire a multi-million-dollar building without putting any money.
Oh yeah.
Upfront. No earnest money, no promise you money, no deposit, no bank verification. I often wondered, because nowadays, even when you go look at a home, the first thing that they try to be really, really nice, but you can always tell they really want to say, have you even been approved? Why are you in here looking? I know they can't do that because people would sue and all that, but you get the vibe. I can tell you, because when me and Peyton used to go and look at houses, because I like to look at stuff and get inspired and change things. And we would go and look at houses, and they would be so nice, like, oh, hi, how are you guys doing? Oh, your mother and daughter. What type of house are you looking for? Is there a particular budget that you're in? And then they'll let you look around a little bit, and they'll go, so how much have you already been approved for? That's their way of saying, you do know that this house costs this, and if you've only been approved for that, why are you here? But they do it in such a, what I call, nice, nasty kind of way. But it makes sense for them not to waste time. And I get it, it's not right, but it makes sense for them not to waste time with you when they can really spend time with those that are in there looking, who have got a bank approval that says you can get a credit limit up to $600,000. Why are we looking at $600,000 homes if you've only been approved for 450? That's their point. So the fact that Anna could go and acquire a multi-million-dollar building in the heart and primary part of New York City, it baffles me.
That's a finesse.
It baffles. It absolutely baffles. The easy part was her getting into the socialite scene. That's just a networking event away. For example, when I was networking every single day and attached to so many different groups and had country club memberships and all that stuff, it was easy to meet whoever you wanted to meet. Going to events, going to sponsorship type of things, going to advertising federations. That's the easiest thing you could do, is to pay your dues, which is your membership, and you can get in and walk on the same ground as the people who will take you under their wing or sponsor you or give you money or advertise with you, take you into the social circles. That's the easy part. So when I saw that part, as to because my question was how did she even get to know these people? That part was easy. Mm-hmm. That was easy. That was nothing. The hard part for me to understand was acquiring a multi-million-dollar building to do an art museum that rivals the Soho House with the private membership. Now, her idea and her vision, I thought it was good. If they would take half of the scamming knowledge and put it into real professional business knowledge, a lot of these people could do real good.
Yeah, but some of them, I think that's the easy way out, being a scammer or a finesser.
So you're trying to say you think she went to bed feeling good every night? How do you even keep up with all the lies?
That's my thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't even bet. What was her fake name? Anna Delvey. Anna Delvey, that was her fake name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know how she kept up with all the lies. And
it's been so much. I don't even know which one is her real name or not, because her Instagram name is Anna Delvey, but I don't know. Is
That's what I
that
thought.
Sorokin?
That's what I thought.
I don't know which one is real or not. See, that's
Well, I think the Sorokin is the real one because remember they
yeah.
found out that her family really was from Germany,
I do
and
know.
that's how they were able to trace her to Germany. I remember when you called me and you were so shocked that the bank manager was a fake her. And she
Yeah.
used that voice distorter thing. You were like,
I was so wrapped up in all the other stuff she was doing and scamming on. I ain't even. I mean, that's, yeah.
but you
I
know
at
what?
least thought it was somebody she hired that wasn't real, but I mean,
So what that really tells you though is that must be a common theme
yeah,
with the scammers is the voice distorter because remember on Bad Vegan, he did the same thing.
yeah. And there's this guy on YouTube. Somebody introduced me to. What he does is put a voice changer on like an old woman, and he records these calls with these. You know, when we used to get them scam likely calls,
Mm-hmm.
he would answer them, but he'd put the old woman voice on, and he'll just stay on the phone with them for hours.
Because he know they was gonna try to take advantage of him, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, they had that scam one time where they would call and they would say, well, they would do research on you and find out who's connected to you. And I don't know how they find out who's connected to who, but they find
That's
out if you
easy.
had like a child or a grandchild, and they would call old people and they would say, you know, Michael is in the hospital right now and he really, really, really needs you to send him some money so he can get some medical treatment. And they would be like, Michael, my grandson. They'd be like, yes, ma'am, your grandson, Michael. He's 26 years old. They've been already done their homework.
Mm-hmm.
And the old people would get their credit cards out and they would send the money. And then the people would, of course, wipe them out. But that scam went on. That went on all toward the back end of the 2000s, like 2010 to like 2015, something like that. Because even your grandma got a call one time. Somebody was trying to scam her. It's just crazy how they already be knowing your family member name and stuff, and they be sounding so official. You know, this is the Social Security office, and your Medicaid has been compromised. We need you to give us your address and your this and your that because you don't want. And it's just like, let Medicaid deal with that. Call a number.
Right.
So it's interesting. So I guess the voice distorter has been a common theme but I like that little prank that your friend is playing on those people because they will call you.
She told me to look it up on YouTube. It's a guy that's doing it on there. He changed.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's funny. If you find his name, send me the link because I would watch that and laugh all day. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Well, my warning for women is really just one warning, especially if you're a woman of a certain age. You know, back in the day, when Atlanta Housewives first came on, I did watch the first and second season. And by the second season, I was out because one thing I won't watch is TV where grown folks with money are fighting. I'm not going to do that. Like, go spend your money, go live your life, go be happy, go travel. What in the world are you over here arguing with another woman for? But one thing Nene said back in the day was trust, but verify. Well, I don't even say that. I say trust and verify. Because you can tell me anything you want to tell me, but I got to be smart enough to check into it so that I don't get scammed. And, you know, it's a sad way to live that every person that you meet, you almost have to verify that they are who they say they are. And you almost have to side eye them like, okay, why are you trying to get into my circle? You almost have to question where they came from. Because I'll be looking at everybody like they special ops. I ain't lying. I told Peyton the other day, I know she's special ops.
I know she questions and he think I work for the feds. I'm like, I'm literally just trying to have a conversation. You just don't be wanting to answer my questions.
But I remember when I was networking one time, I met this nice little girl and she wanted to know more about the speaking industry. So I was like, oh, okay, well, no problem. She said, could she be like an understudy and go to like my speaking engagements and just see, you know, how I interact. She wanted to be a better speaker and she wanted to know, you know, how did I get all my contracts and all that stuff. And so I told her, I said, well, I don't have people really follow me around. I said, if you want to be an apprentice, you know, you pay for that. You don't get access to people's contacts without paying for it. So she really didn't want to pay for it or whatever. So she ended up calling me, asking me if I could give her a list now listen to this. Can you give me a list of all of the people you get contracts through? Because I want to try to get some contracts. So I said, no, what you can do is you can establish yourself in this industry and then you can get your own specific contracts, because everything that works for me won't work for you. You know, figure out your lane and how you want to play with that. And, you know, I never heard from her after that. And I said, oh, okay, so I get it. She came around because she wanted something from me. So, you know, right now I'm in this mode, and I think it's just the older I'm getting, I'm in this mode. Right now, I'm in this mode of I really only want to be around people who don't need anything from me. I don't need anything from you. You don't need anything from me. We can just exist as friends or whatever without needing something. Like, don't need me to babysit your kids. Don't need me to take you to the store. Don't need me to help you out with anything. I just really want to be around that type of people that don't need me for anything and I don't need them for anything, because I think the lines get so crossed when people are only in your life because they need something from you, and I just don't like that. I don't like that at all. But that's just me. Anna needed everything from everybody, and I don't know how they didn't see it. Remember the lady that took her to the, what was it, Saks Fifth Avenue, remember the lady that took her to the store, and then she kept going back and putting stuff on the, I'm not on video, she kept going back and putting stuff on the lady credit card without the lady with her.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, did she not think the lady was gonna read her bill? But you know, I kind of blame the store, because even though they saw her there with the lady 10 times, okay, that's fine. You can see me there 20 times. But the time you come by yourself, that's what I'm gonna call Miss So-and-so and say, oh, you know, how's everything going? I just want you to know your good friend Anna, she was in the store today, and you know, she went ahead and put some things on your card for like $2,800. So I do kind of blame the store for that, because they should have snitched and said, your friend girl is coming to the store, but she's putting things on your card. Did you think it was weird that when everything went down and they discovered Anna was a fraud, did you find it weird that that same lady, not only was she trying to distance herself, but it was like she didn't want her friends to know that she had been involved in trying to raise money and stuff? Did you find that weird, or you didn't pay attention?
I did.
I found her to be a little shady, because it almost made me think, was she doing some fraud with Anna? And they were kind of like, you know, bouncing off of each other.
If it didn't work out for her, she had to figure out something else.
Right.
That's how it be though. People want to ride along with you, and then when it don't work out, they dip.
But you know what really made me like surprised? I was like, so you're telling me that Anna Delphi was the girlfriend to the dude who did the Fyre Fest?
Yeah.
I was like,
you watched that?
Everybody in that basement is scamming.
But I think people like that, like, I think if you're a scammer, you're just going to surround yourself around other scammers.
Well, I guess so. I guess so.
I mean, I would think so. Because, I mean, that's Fyre Fest alone is a wild event that took place. You watched a documentary on that?
On who?
Fyre Fest?
Girl, you know everybody watched that man say if he would have had to do what he had to do, he would have. You know everybody saw that. Mm-hmm. I watched it when it first came out. Now, I don't remember which one I watched, because you know there were two, right?
There was one on Netflix, I think, and then there was one on Hulu. I can't remember.
There you go. And I'm not sure which one I watched, but whoever was first was the one I watched, so it might have been Netflix.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I did watch that, and I found that one to be typical of a new event. They put it at a certain price range so it can only cater to certain people who had money. I think what I didn't expect was that the investors would pull out like they did, and then those guys wouldn't have the money. I really felt like if the investors had stayed in, they could have gotten better food. I feel like it could have been okay, because then they wouldn't have had to go so cheap on the tents and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know what was worse, the living situation or the little food they had.
I think the whole thing was not good, because remember, even some of the talent pulled out.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. So I do like the way they did their marketing. I ain't trying to be funny, but they did their marketing on point because they had all of the socialites. They had all the TikTokers and Snapchatters they had invited over there. That's another thing people don't understand. When they invite all of these celebrities and stuff, those people are not being invited for free. They pay them a hosting fee or entertainment fee. They pay them a fee to be there. So if you just think a lot of those celebrities were supposed to get like $100,000 or whatever, and they were supposed to get a what they call it, like a glam tent or whatever. They didn't get any of that, and it's because they just didn't have the money. But I do still feel like, and I don't know if the guy is still in jail or not, but I do still feel like I really need to hear his story because I want to know where all the money actually went. And did he overspend? Did he overproject? Or did he promise too many?
That made it not work.
Or did he promise too many socialites money that he was going to end up
I
not
think
making?
it might be all. It might be a little bit of everything because I think he probably got wrapped up in trying to catch so many people's attention with people that were coming, like what they say, dinner, all kind of people, like people that didn't even get the notification that they was even supposed to be there.
Yeah. Do you think Anna put some money away? Or do you think she just was scamming and she was getting all the luxuries but didn't actually have any cash?
That's hard to say. I really hope that she did put some away, but I think that if she had money put away, she would have had money to take care of all this stuff, like the hotel.
Right. And who is she living with now in New York City? Because she's still back in the socialite part of it. She's still friends with Kanye's girl because they hung out. Julia Fox and her, they hung out. Like I think like the girl was with Kanye like for the third week. They went and hung out, and that's how we found out that they were even friends, is because they was hanging out and stuff. So I'm trying to see. I think what I'm trying to see is did she let people take care of her and she joined in on their credit cards, and because you remember the bank guy was fake, so we know she didn't have any money. Yeah. Now she lied and said that she had money over in Germany, but it was hard for her to get it over. That's the biggest lie I've ever heard. That's another common thread that the scammers have in common, is that they always say their money is tied up overseas, and as soon as they get it, they're going to pay you back. They never do. That's the same thing the bad vegan.
It happened to people, but not in her situation now.
Yep, that's the same thing the bad vegan lady boyfriend told her. His money was overseas and he was going to pay her back as soon as it, and I'm just like,
Netflix is really, I don't know if it has something to do with this being the year of people being exposed, but maybe it has.
I don't know, but Gerald, that I do the pop culture commentary with, he said that he feels like Netflix is just tapping into what the women want to see, because they probably figured out that the women are their biggest audience, from looking at their surveys and stuff, and so they want to tap into. I say, well, as long as they don't get
that's crazy.
As long as they don't get too Lifetime-ish, I'll be all right with it. But when they start going Lifetime-ish, I'll be like, okay, I'm out. That's why I'd be like, oh, I can't believe that show was good, because I was expecting it to be like a Lifetime movie, which I was never gonna watch it.
Yeah, Lifetime nowadays, you already know what the movie's about just by reading the title. Abducted at 17.
Yeah. I think the other thing that shocks me, again, my one warning for women is trust, but just verify any people that are coming into your circle that want to be around you, your family, your kids, your volunteer opportunities, your work. Anytime somebody wants to come into your circle, just verify who they are to the point of where you can verify them, not just trusting and believing every single thing that they say, because I have lived by the anthem that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I think that it's typically, for me, been for a reason. There's not a whole lot of lifetimers. There's not a whole lot of anything but really a reason. A season is pretty typical, but it's usually a reason. Either they want something from me, they want to learn something from me, or I'm supposed to teach them something or something like that. So that's why I'm in that mode of I really want to be around people who don't need anything from me, because then it cuts out all of the confusion of, yeah, so what did you want from me? What you wanted for me to be able to take you back and forth to work or to school, or babysit your kids for you because I have time to do it, or whatever like that. So, that's the typical thing. But the other thing I think for me, looking at inventing Anna, I feel like, and I'm going to say this very carefully, but I feel like she still even got some privilege the way they punished her.
That's how I felt about Simon.
Oh yeah,
I
because he
felt,
was out in 5 months, huh?
yeah, and I feel like they could have put a little bit more effort into getting some type of charge or something for what he really did. But I mean, hey,
Well, what did he really do? Because when they broke it down to the legal aspect of it, they basically said these women were dumb enough to keep giving him money and they never got money returned. So they gave that money because they wanted to. I mean, he didn't sign any paperwork. He didn't, even when that lady went to the bank and got all that money, $250,000 the first time, he didn't sign anything. She signed it. So what if in a case where that happens, but also the woman is scamming as well? So the banks can't take your word that some man scammed you, because sure enough, we could let you off and say, just forgive the debt. And then you could actually take that money with that same man and go live overseas. So I guess we have to look at it from the legal standpoint that none of those women could prove that he forced any money out of them.
it is true.
So we have to look at it from a legal standpoint. And, you know, when you look at it from a legal standpoint, Simon didn't do nothing but get women to give him money. And he didn't put a gun to their head to do it because they literally willingly gave him the money. The only, and we'll talk about this when we talk about inventing Simon down the road, but I'm not inventing Simon, but the Tinder swindler. When we start talking about the women,
Yeah.
I just can't wait to talk about the one that ended up scamming him. I love that she was smart enough to
I
say,
do too, because something had to have happened on that show. I was hoping something like that would have happened, and she's probably still trying to recover money.
let me tell you something. You know, these people is running my nerves up, because even today I started back listening to audiobooks. So today I had to run out with a client early this morning about 7, and I got an audio book that's about 13 CDs. Yep, I'm listening to CDs. It's about 13 CDs long, and I forgot the name of it right now. I can't even think of the name of it. But anyway, so this girl in there, you know, she always had issues with her family because they always called her fat and called her the ugly duckling. Her little sister was cuter than her, and they really thought that the first daughter looked more like the father's mother, and the wife couldn't stand the mother because she was kind of, you know, hoity-toity. So then they had this little other sweet little girl that she was real pretty, that she was in model. They wanted her to be a baby model, and they let her do it. Well, anyway, the daughter that was the ugly duckling, I'll call her, she ended up getting a boyfriend. She fell in love with this boy. He was almost in love with her as well. And then she wanted to know, well, why is it that you come and hang out with me all the time, but we're not doing anything? And he said, well, because he couldn't do that to her. And she said, well, why not? He said, because I'm falling in love with you. And she said, well, then what's the problem? You know, we're 18 now, whatever, 20, 21 years, we're in college. And he said, because I'm gay, I like boys. And this girl gonna say, well, what does that have to do with us being in love? Can't you just let the love that you have for me make you want me? He said, no matter how much I love you, I still want a boy. And so I was saying, he told her, and I'm in the car driving along, and I'm saying, girl, he said he wanted a boy. He don't want you. It doesn't matter how much he love you, how much he like your parents, how much y'all hang out together. I was talking in the car like the girl was sitting in the seat next to me. I was having a whole conversation because I was saying, he already told you 5 times he wants a boy. It doesn't matter what you do and who you are and how sexy he tells you are. You don't have the equipment to hold him. Child, I was having a conversation.
You gotta be with them.
I was having a whole conversation about this in the car to myself. But I just remembered about a month ago that I really loved listening to my audiobooks in the car. And now that I kind of cleaned out the office and, you know, I know where everything is now, it's not all stacked up and packed up, that I put a couple of audiobooks in the car so that, especially when I do some road trips this summer and stuff, I'm going to be all audiobook down. I mean, I like podcasts and all that too, but you know, when you get in those dead flat areas where there's no internet, you can't get podcasts or radio or nothing, right?
That is true.
Okay,
yeah, I think audiobooks and podcasts would for sure. Like if I'm driving,
you know, I almost went ahead and got the subscription on my phone for the Audible.
Oh yeah, how much is it?
I don't know. I forgot. Well, I know you can get like 90 days free or something like that. I don't know. But I was like, you know what? I may go ahead and get that because there's a lot of good books on Audible. I mean, a lot of them. People that I would absolutely listen to their stories and all that stuff. But I didn't get it because on the iPhone, you also have, there's another thing that you have on there where you can actually listen to audio. I think it's it might be Kindle or something like that. The audio part is
That's what
on
I
there. So I
thought.
was like, I didn't know if I needed double stuff, but I found these CDs. And what I'm planning on doing is all of the audiobooks that I'm listening to, I've been stacking them up. And when I get about 10 of them, I'll go and I'll turn them into the half price bookstore, let somebody else use them. Cause once I hear the story, I won't listen to it again. But when me and Kathleen used to go shopping at the half price bookstore, we would always buy audio books, and she'd buy 10 or 20, I'd buy 10 or 20, because they'd be like $1 or something for like a
Is it
whole.
in the so like the audiobooks that you have that are about that person, is it them reading the book in their voice?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it just depends on if they decide they want to read it themselves. Like for instance, when I listened to all of Chelsea Lately's audiobook, especially at the time when her and 50 Cent were dating, when I listened to her audiobook, she does her stuff in her own voice and her own, everything. So it'll tell you though on the audiobook if it's read by the person or by somebody else. Sometimes if that person doesn't have that within them or the voice to do it, it's better to hear it in a professional person's voice. But they do warn you before you listen that it's going to be in third person. But we would get all of those audio books, and then we would, after we fit, because she took a lot of road trips to Illinois to see her family. So when she get back and she's listened to all of those, then we would switch, and I would take her 10 and she would take my 10. Then we would take them back to half price bookstore, turn them in, and get new ones. So I held on. I've now held on mine a little too long. So I'm going through and re-listening to some of the stories that I've forgotten, and then I've already got maybe about 10 or 15 over there in the container ready to go. It's just a matter of me waking up one day and saying, okay, I'm going to go to the half price bookstore and turn these in, and I'll either get the money for them and buy something else, or I'll just get the money and do whatever else I want to do with it. But I've got some books and some audio books, and they're all still in the case, brand new looking. I keep my case and everything clean. So that's the way that's going to be. But, the other thing I was going to say about Inventing Anna is, I just wonder why we haven't seen any of her family. She said her father was wealthy and he was from
her
Germany.
dad too, right? Something with her dad.
I didn't see any of her family. Why hasn't her father stepped out and said, yes, this is my daughter, and I'm embarrassed about what she did in America, but we're going to take her back home over here in Germany or Russia, wherever she's from. At first they said they thought she was from Russia, then they said Germany, and I was like, with that last name, I can't tell. Sorior, I don't know.
I think Russian.
Well, that would make a lot of sense. If she was from Russia, that would make a lot of sense.
If I take a wild guess, like if I was on Jeopardy or something, I'd say Russia.
Yeah. Well, I figure if she's deported, I really think that could set in motion some other things, because that was one of the things that they were talking about for Tory Lanez. They were saying, if he's convicted of this crime, literally they can deport him, which means that he would only be able to do concerts over in the other entities, in Canada, Europe, and all those places. He would never be able to come back to the United States of America to do concerts or whatever. And I know a lot of people like to look at stuff on concerts and everything like that on virtual or whatever, but I just don't see where. And I could be completely wrong, because a lot of Americans, after they've expanded everything that they needed to do over here and Americans give up on them, they go overseas and they make a truckloads of money.
Yeah.
All of the rappers and all of them have done it, where you don't hear from them and you're like, oh man, they fell off. Where they at? Yeah, they've been over in Europe making tons of money for years.
Yeah, they are really big on music.
And they support. They support. When me and Saban in 2018, when we were in Japan, what's the little rapper name that was friends with Obama? The little light skin, when they got married to his elementary school sweetheart.
I don't know.
Not Childish Gambino, not him.
Chance the Rapper?
Huh?
Chance the Rapper?
Yes. They had posters up of Chance the Rapper. He had so many concerts that filled up, he was going to have to stay over there another month.
Wow.
And they were doing it at like a stadium with like 20, 30,000 people in Japan. And he was traveling around. He was going to be in Kyoto one day. He was going to be in Shibuya one day. He was going to be in Tokyo one day. It's like he had hit every Japanese city over there. And then they had a poster right in the downtown area we went to that said they were extending his tour for another month because of high demand. And I said, well, it must be a lot of Americans over there too, because the poster was in Japanese and in
Yeah, and
English.
it's easy to make $1 million in a week
Oh
just off a
man, that's
show.
nothing.
Two
That's
days.
absolutely nothing right there. But you know, I learned that because a lot of speakers will do that. Sometimes they will go and do speaking engagements and stuff in other countries. Like for instance, I remember when me and a girl was putting a speaking engagement together, we had found out that there was a large business community of women over in London, and we were just about to put something together. That was 2019, and then of course, you know, everything hit and we didn't get a chance to do it. But that was one of the places that we had gotten contact and connections with over there. I remember back in 2016, I had met a girl at an event. She was actually not the prime minister, but she was the ambassador for the Bahamas Visitors Bureau.
Mm.
And she had already invited me over there. She said, I'd love for you to come over and do some empowerment, speaking and teaching women how to, you know, create their own businesses and all that. Here we go. You know,
I think
things
like
got stopped.
she got a
But I saved her card and I still have it, because once all of the sanctions and all of the other things they die down, I'm hoping that, you know, if I reach back out to her, it's been about a year or two now that I've spoken with her, but I'm hoping that if I reach back out to her, because what they do is when they invite you in to speak with the Speakers Bureau, they set up everything for you. All you got to do is show up.
Yeah.
They pay you a certain fee. They charge the people a certain fee to get in there. And you know, they make way more money than they probably paying you, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Visitors Bureau, they like to bring visitors in from other countries. So you know, those things are possible because, you know, it not only entertainers do it, but I did hear somebody say the other day, there's 5 ways that you need to start thinking about bringing in money. And one thing they said was real estate. The other one was entertainment. The third one was crypto. The fourth one was new digital media like YouTube and all that stuff. And I cannot think of what the number 5 one was, but I said to myself, I agreed with everything that they said.
Did you see that documentary I told you to watch?
Which one?
I texted it to you. Let me go back.
What was it about?
It's called Trust No One: The Hunt for the Crypto King.
I texted you back and said I watched that on Friday.
Oh, what you thought about it?
I had already seen the story on American Greed, so I already kind of knew. But I thought it was very interesting that he went as far as to say he did. But you saw at the end what happened, right?
I think so. I did fall asleep on it, but I got the gist of it.
Well, you know, he lied and said he died of Crohn's disease.
Yeah. I remember that.
But in the end, they did find out where he had been transferring money around.
Where?
Oh, in other countries and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But they found out that he really wasn't dead, right?
Well, they can't prove that he ain't dead, but they know that in his name, he's been transferring money around, and they also got a picture of him, but he had a facelift and some other work done, and so they can't even prove that. So basically what I'm saying is that all those folks lost their money. But that's not a new story. Bitcoin went through that same thing.
I need to watch American Greed because I don't.
Yeah, you got to watch American Greed. It's probably on YouTube by now because I don't have cable or anything like that anymore. So I don't know, and I can't even tell you what channel it used to come on. But when I tell you American Greed will have you just sitting up going, they tried to get away with that? Oh, no, they got away with that.
I almost got away with it.
Yeah. Well, these people on American Greed gets away with it. The other thing that I was surprised with Anna is I was surprised that, I'm not going to say I was, I'm going to say I am surprised that she's still sticking to her story that she's right.
Yeah.
I mean, would we call that delusion or would we call that just out of touch?
I think that it's a little bit of both, but more of delusion. Because, I mean, when you done made so many lies up and you start to believe it.
She said she didn't do nothing wrong. She said she didn't steal no money. She said that really the business that she was trying to do, she really wanted to do it, and they trying to stop her.
She just went the wrong way about it.
I know, but we found out that the bank thing was fake. That was her voice on the voice thing. So where was the real money gonna come from? She proved she didn't have no money. I guess I'm gonna have to call it.
That was crazy. The accountant found out how much money was being
the same thing happened
You know
on
they're
Bad
doing a new one in
Vegan.
2024, even though we gotta wait that long. They're doing a second one.
Who?
The Accountant. They're doing a part 2. Because I didn't know
Oh,
I didn't know they was brothers. I mean, I should have known at the end, but something's gonna happen with the brothers on the next one.
what The Accountant? You talking about with Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
Oh, you finally saw it?
Yeah, I did. Where you worked for that one company and found out what was really going on with the money.
Yeah, I think actually The Accountant gave away too many proprietary secrets for scammers.
That's what I be
And
saying every time I watch a movie. I just watched one last night and I said, this has got to be, there's no way y'all just come up with these type of.
And every one of the scammers say, if you want to wash some money, get a laundromat or get a strip club. He got a nail shop, which we know there's one on every corner. Those kind of shows, they actually scare me because I was like, I be thinking, okay, somebody's watching this right now and they're going to try to figure out how to do this. I feel sorry for anybody who go try to rob a bank right now because they ain't got no money.
He had an episode like that. Let's not make the episode longer because they still ain't got the money.
How you gonna go rob a bank? You ain't gonna get nothing but a little McDonald's change because they ain't got it.
What happened? What Soulja Boy tried to get? What, 20,000 out? Or I don't know how much money.
Tried to get 20,000 out, and they did not have his money, baby. And I'm saying to myself, I get it that they wouldn't want to keep that kind of money, and I get it that they shouldn't because banks do get robbed and everything, but there's somebody that's going to walk in there and they're going to need the money to go and buy their brand new car or their brand new house or give their child some money to pay their rent or whatever. But you go in there and try to rob a bank, by the time they count up them little $25, you're going to be caught because they ain't got it. So I don't know, but I don't know where Inventing Anna is going to go. I would be up for, I would watch her, I would watch her documentary if she put it on Hulu. And the only reason why I would watch it is because I want to see how far she's going to keep the lie up. I'm interested. Yeah. I'm interested to see how far she's going to keep the lie going. Because even though we know she's lying, she keep lying. Because she don't think she's done anything to today. Which makes me think, if she and Julia Fox are friends, is Julia Fox a finesser as well?
That's.
I mean, we know she finessed Kanye out of 3 Birkins. That wasn't hard to do. That wasn't hard to do, He just bought the new girlfriend a $275,000. And I don't get it about the Birkins. They're really ugly, old lady looking bags. So I don't get the whole Birkin bag thing, but then I'm not a name brand person. So none of that makes a lot of sense to me. But just for new people to get those kind of rewards, it's like confusing, a little bit. Yeah. So anyway, well, that's our show today about Inventing Anna. If you have not watched it, definitely go and watch it. You got to watch these shows that we're talking about so you can put yourself up on game. Like, don't wait for somebody to give the game to you. Put yourself up on game so that you know what's going on out here. I don't like to watch a lot of foolishness TV either, but if I can learn something from it, I'm all in with trying to figure out what just happened, like who did what. I'm not even gonna be funny. I can't wait till the next scammer show come on Netflix, and that's crazy.
Because it gets crazier and crazier, and it started with the Tinder swindler, and then it was Inventing Anna, and then it was this crypto stuff, and I'm just like.
And then the Bad Vegan.
The top 10 too.
Yeah, and then the Bad Vegan. So
yeah, that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Inventing Anna has been
matter of 3 months, right? 4 months. Yeah,
she's been holding that spot. Now Simon was holding the spot, but he only held it for about 2 weeks. But Inventing Anna has been there now over a month or more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's interesting to me, these stories. For me, I like them because they're real stories. Like Sex Life was a made up, type of thing. Again, that happens every single day. Bad Vegan, Sarma is a real person. She's a real person on Instagram. You can go and see her right now talking. She's got a book that she's doing and everything. Anna Delvey.
An email about an offer to tell their story because like that guy was upset on the beginning of Bad Vegan that she was going to decide to talk about it. Simon was like that too, I think.
Well, you see what happened with all of this Will Smith stuff. Now August just got a a big money deal and people are asking him to write his book, guess what he said? Okay. They want him to go into the details about how Will gave him the permission, how he lived in Jada and Will's house the whole time that Will was off doing movies, how he literally lived with her as like her husband. He's getting ready to talk. The boy needs the money.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they're gonna ask. So of course they're gonna ask Anna for more detail on like how did she get away with it. See, the thing is not just that she got away with it, but the thing is everybody else are recognizing it so that you don't end up getting taken.
I've never seen no one with 1 million followers and not verified.
Interesting. Are they real followers then?
Well, that I don't know, but when I went on her page, it said 1 million.
You know why they can't verify her? Because she got 2 licenses. One say Delvey and one say Sorkin. And so when you have to send in your verification to Instagram, they say, well, we don't really know who this girl really
I
is.
think she getting a lot of action out here to the point where it's like, I mean, she might as well.
Yeah, but she's still using 2 names and she won't say which one is the real one. Because you know you can literally go to the courthouse and change your first and last name. If you want your name to be Whoop-de-Doop, that can be your name.
She's doing podcasts, like people are doing interviews on podcasts and stuff.
Huh.
She did.
I don't have time for this. I don't have time for you. That's all over Instagram right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, girl. But, you know,
They picked
again.
the right girl to play her, though, I must say.
Oh, my God. The girl from Ozark. Oh, Ruth was the perfect person. I actually was happy to see Ruth play a different role because seeing her hair tightened up in those Jerry curls on Ozark just really takes me back to the 1980s every time I see her hair. So I do give Ruth, you know, I recommend, you know, that she play, if there's a second part of this, that she would absolutely, but she played that role and I could tell she became the character because I had to go back and look at the real Anna because I kept Ruth face in my brain.
Yeah.
And it was so funny when the show came on, I said, who is this girl? I know this girl. I know this actress, but because her hair was straight, I didn't know. But after I found out it was Ruth from Ozark, I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so there's one face that I recognize. I didn't recognize anybody else, but there was one face, you know, at least.
Okay, random question.
What?
Before we end the show, or if that's what you're trying to do. Did you see that video of Paula Patton frying chicken?
Okay, we're gonna have to end the show because I really want to fry some chicken, and I really want to CC that to her
You're
and
gonna
say,
have
baby, this is how you fry chicken. You first of all, okay, since you went there, let's go there. First of all, when you clean your chicken, you don't clean it with cold water. You do it with lukewarm water and you put some vinegar so you can get all the grease off of the chicken and all of the nastiness, okay? Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to pat dry that chicken and then you're going to season it, not the oil, but you're going to season your chicken. Then you're going to grab you some Slap Your Mama, or at least Tony Chachere, if you don't know what Slap Your Mama is. And then you're going to get you some salt and pepper and lightly. Once you season that chicken, then you're going to put that flour, regular, real flour, not no organic flour, organic oil, and no organic bag. Forget all of that. When it's time to cook chicken, you got to get down and dirty, okay? Then you're going to put that, you're going to season. And oh my God, let me tell you where I started cussing. And you know, I don't cuss. When she put that chicken in that lukewarm grease and it didn't start popping.
At all. She probably.
Oh my God. I wanted to get her phone number and call her and say, Paula, invite me where you are. I will personally.
That's just as bad as on one of the new episodes of Atlanta that just came back on. Woo! There's this little boy, he gets put into foster care and he's with a couple of 2 women. I guess they're like wives. And so their version of fried chicken was just as bad. They put some chicken and dipped it in flour and put it in the microwave.
You know what? Somebody needs to call 911 on them because that's atrocious. I told you that time I had went over to Kathleen's house and she was trying to fry Jerry some chicken. Yeah. And I walked in the door because I took some paperwork over there or something. I walked in the door. I said, oh, what you cooking? She said, oh, I decided I'm going to fry Jerry some chicken tonight. And I said, I see the chicken is cooking, but where your flour and your seasoning and stuff? She said, huh? I said, please take that chicken out that grease. Take that chicken out that grease right now. and I went to the store and I got some Tony Chachere and I got some real flour, and I came back and he was like, it was like an hour before he was gonna get home, so I was trying to like, we gonna have this house smelling like KFC when he get up in here, because that's where he used to like to get his chicken from, KFC, because he was like, I know my wife can't cook no chicken, that ain't how she do it. She had took the naked chicken and put the naked chicken in the grease with no seasoning, just naked butt naked chicken. Anyway, I went to the store and got some grease, got some Tony Chachere, because I know she wasn't ready for the slap your mama. She ain't even ready for that. So I got the Tony Chachere in the little thing right at the HEB by her house, seasoned up the chicken, put the flour on the chicken, shook it up and everything, put the grease in there and let it get. She's talking, you can't let the grease get that hot. Why are we cooking in lukewarm grease? I had to change her whole pot and everything. She was trying to cook the chicken where you was gonna have to flip it over. I like to cook my stuff deep fried so that it crisp on all sides, right? Mm-hmm. So I got a pot. She had a pot, and I said, we're gonna put the oil in the pot. She's like, pots are for boiling. I'm like, I need you to step aside. Anyway, we put the grease in there. We let it get hot and you know how you test your greases? You take a few little prickles of water, and if it pops, you know it's ready. Oh my God, this is making me mad when I think about Paula Patton. But anyway, I told Kathleen, I said, you're gonna fry this chicken, because she had everything else on point, the mashed potatoes, the green bean, all that other stuff. I didn't care, but you're not gonna mess up no chicken in my face. So anyway, we fried the chicken. Jerry came in the door. He said, what is that cooking? I said, Jerry, after today, you should never have the same kind of chicken you've been cooking, because I just taught your wife how to fry you some chicken. He said, oh my God, thank you so much. He was like, thank you so much. And she gonna say, so you like that kind of chicken, Jerry? He said, yeah, why you think I'm always getting fried chicken from KFC? She said, I thought you just like KFC. He said, no, you don't cook chicken with flour and have crust on it and stuff.
I really love her because he ate it anyway.
Do you know that she never fried him no chicken again after that?
Why?
Because she said that ain't the way you do it.
Wow.
And he had told her, don't even bother cooking the chicken the way you did it, because she took naked chicken with no seasoning and put it in the grease and was wondering why she didn't have no crust.
Did she try the chicken at all?
Yeah, she ate the chicken. She loved it, but she was just like, that's just not the way. It's too fattening. Like, I'm like, look, me and you is not from the same flavor. But yes, I did see that today.
Hey, she's the one that put me onto them Sobe drinks. Shout out to her.
Who?
She used to, Miss Kathleen, she put me on.
Oh yeah, the Sobe drinks. Yeah. Well, shout out to her on the Sobe, but boo on the chicken. But yeah, I saw that today, and actually I think we're gonna have to do a show called Chicken-ish, because somebody need to know. So I might have to do that. I literally was laying in my bed saying, I need to go get some chicken tomorrow, and I need to fry it, and I need to show my step by step. And so I actually might do that, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just I get offended if people mess up the fish and the chicken, and if you mess up the grits, we can never be friends again.
Yeah.
So that's the problem I have. But yeah, I saw that. But man, you shouldn't even brought that up. I'm hot now.
Because I was like,
and she was so happy. This is my mom's recipe. I ain't never seen nobody season the chicken inside the grease. Because even I just told Peyton the other day, I said, I really don't like frying my catfish in the red bag of the Louisiana fry, because it's so much cayenne in there that it makes the fish dark. And I like my fish light. I don't like dark food because it looks burnt, even though I know it's not. But the problem with it looking burnt is sometimes it won't be cooked on the inside because you're looking at the outside. But see, cayenne pepper and all that stuff makes your food dark, and I don't like that. So I told her, I said, I'll fry yours in the red fish fry, but I like mine in the blue fish fry, and I like to season it because I like for my fish to be light and fluffy. And she said, well, no, she liked the red. I said, that's fine, I'll just cook yours in something different. But everybody knows that if you season it after, or if you season the flour and not the actual meat, your food is going to come out dark, but it's going to be uncooked on the inside. So when we do our fried chicken, I'm gonna have to
bite the chicken. She ate it, right?
But it was pink on the inside.
Paula Patton?
Yes, her chicken was not cooked. When she bit into it, it was pink or red.
Oh, that's how people look.
And I'm gonna tell you something I learned in my 20s. if you don't know how to fry chicken, then only fry pieces of chicken. Like for instance, I don't like drumsticks because unless you deep fry them, they almost end up having to be dark because you have to cook the inside. But I learned the little trick is to just poke it with your two-pronged fork, and that'll get the inside cooked. I don't like cooking backs because the back is too big of a piece of chicken and then everything else don't fit in the skillet like that. So I really try to stay, if I'm going to fry like chicken for other people, I like to stay with the wings, the thighs, other parts of the chicken, or like a chicken breast. Even with a chicken breast, I cut it up just to make sure that it gets cooked all the way through. But see, people who don't know how to fry chicken or don't know how to cook, like when I was young, I didn't take any pleasure in buying a whole chicken and cutting it up. I didn't take any pleasure. So if I wanted, I would go and buy the parts of the chicken. I let somebody else cut it up because I didn't want to spend the time doing that. But Paula Patton should have known better. And it was a disgrace.
Her mother's recipe.
It was a disgrace. And it wasn't nothing about that seasoning that excited me. I wanted to
nothing at all. Like that's the bare minimum. And
I actually want to go buy a little bitty thing of Slap Your Mama and mail it to her. Because if she just had that, she wouldn't even need no salt and pepper or nothing, because it's got salt and pepper in it. But if you want a little heat, you could put a little cayenne. If you want, and the other secret that a lot of people don't know, like when she showed her chicken and it had a lot of skin on it, if she really wanted to get the seasoning really in there, she could have put the seasoning inside of the skin part. And it would have. Now, I've had guys that cook for me that they even use food injectors, and they will inject the flavor into their food so that when you bite into it, you just like, oh my God,
I've had that before. I've had some chicken like that before. It's pretty juicy.
It is. And a lot of people in Louisiana do it, especially if you're getting a turkey from them or a ham or something. They'll inject it with their own personal season. I've seen them do it with all kinds of seafood and things like that. So I'm embarrassed for her, and I went to her page and she turned her comments off, and I said, okay, good, because this don't make no sense, because the way they was roasting her, I was like, she shouldn't even eat another piece of fried chicken for the rest of her life, because and first of all, who cooks chicken dressed up cute? The way we do it, I ain't gonna say who the we is, but the way we do it is you cook in your ugly clothes. When the food is done, then you go get your cute stuff on if you having family over to eat. When you cooking, you got your headscarf on, you got your jogging pants and a t-shirt, because if the grease pop on you or anything, you don't want to mess up your clothes. She up in there with a whole church dress on. We got to get off this subject. Anyway, back to Anna. That's our show for today. That's our show for today with Inventing Anna. Again, verify people that want to be in your circle. Find out if
I do background checks now at this point.
You know what? You might have said that as a joke, but it's true.
No, I'm for real. I'm not even joking. I had to. You have to.
People do it when they getting ready to go out on a date with people. Why wouldn't you do it with some girlfriend? Because imagine listen, I'm on a lot of travel groups, right? One of the girls in the travel thing last year, she said that, she hooked up with somebody in the travel group and they were going to, travel as friends or whatever. They were both from different countries and they wanted to do some American travel. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she put a group together with 7 women. Everybody got over to the Bahamas or wherever they went. And the girl had taken all their money, their hotel and everything was supposed to be paid for. They get over there and she had not even paid for their hotel. So now they stuck over there. She didn't know if they had money or not. Now they stuck over there. Their hotel ain't paid for. Then she say the girl, they asked her, where's our money? We want our money back. She talking about, well, I did pay for y'all room, but y'all gonna have to be roommates. Well, I didn't pay for a roommate room. I paid for a single room. So what I'm saying is, if you don't verify who people are, you get entangled with them, friendships and going out to eat and everything. And you sitting up there at the table and they expecting you to pay. No, there's a conversation that needs to be happening. I ain't coming out to dinner to pay for your food. I'm coming out to just pay for myself. Don't be expecting that because you invited a bunch of women that we're going to cater to you. So all I'm saying is verify who these people are that are trying to be in your life. And then I even take a step back and say, think about how they came into your life. Did you meet them by chance? Were you introduced to them by somebody? Like half of the people that Anna met, it was because she just happened to be in the right social circles,
Yeah.
and she was a nice person, and people were like, oh, we need to get to know who Anna is because she's rich. So not only was she using them for their status, but they were also using her because they wanted to know if she was rich as well. So it's kind of like they all used each other, but they'll never admit to that, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's our show for today on Inventing Anna. If you have not seen it, please, please catch up on, if I were you, I would go find the American Greed episode on YouTube or somewhere with Anna in it. And then after you watch the American Greed, then I would say go and watch Inventing Anna, because at least the setup part of it for you to understand the financial aspect of it is on American Greed. And then the behind the scenes story is pretty much over here on Netflix. So if you get a chance to go and see Inventing Anna on Netflix, I do think that you will enjoy it. I know you're gonna be mad at her, you're gonna be cussing at the TV, you're gonna be like, I don't understand how this happened, but if you really pay attention to it, it's easy how it happened. Because once, I can tell you this from proof, once you get in certain social circles, that's all you need.
Yeah.
So that's our show for today on Inventing Anna.
Yes, and before we let you go, please continue to subscribe to our channel. Keep sharing, keep liking, turn your notifications on, keep commenting. We're getting all the notifications from everywhere, so keep it up, and thank you for supporting us. And stay tuned for our fried chicken series.
Oh my, let me tell you, you joking, but I'm real serious. I'm like, I'm so serious about it that I'm just like,
We might have to do it in Atlanta too.
oh my God. Exactly. It's like, cause I got everything that I got slap your mama in. I got vinegar to clean my chicken, and I got everything.
Yeah, some people clean it with vinegar. Some people clean it with like lemon juice. I mean, it just the water.
Well, my Jamaican friend, she proved to me why I should clean it with vinegar, because they clean all of their meat. They clean their oxtails. They clean everything with vinegar. Yeah. The one time I had helped her to write her first book, she had she had invited me over to her sister's house, which lives over here on Eldridge. Mm-hmm. And she cooked me some jerk chicken and all that stuff. Mm. But she let me watch, from the beginning to the end, because, I don't be eating people